maybe 50.
Or wherever it is, or that, yeah.
Sacramento, for me, is just smoother than MLK. And especially now, I don't know if you don't live down there, but on MLK, they did something to the road where they were trying to slow traffic, so you have to like kind of weave in and out. Cars are way too close to each other.
Yeah, it's interesting all the stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
Park Boulevard is, you go from double to single to double merges. I mean, I guess it slows people down, but it also looks like collisions are about to happen all the time.
Yeah. And I'm all for making room for the bike lanes. But
Yeah, I'm iffy on that.
But nobody,
Well, it depends. Like,
at least not around us.
in Berkeley, they're
well, it's like I was talking to Stuart Zangle about that. You don't drive with Joaquin Miller, but Joaquin, like, there used to be 2 lanes, now it goes down to 1, and now the cars are right next to the bike lanes. When there were 2, they always moved over a lane, as a, for safety, and now they can't.
Yeah.
So it's Shabbat Shalom. Welcome. Have we met before? You know,
they're my parents.
Oh.
So no, you haven't.
Okay, awesome. From Ojai.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Remember working with Wayne? Nice to meet you. We love your daughter.
We do too.
She's awesome.
Very popular.
Okay, I made a WhatsApp group, by the way, so we're not just emailing each other all the time for your kids, so
Excellent.
I'll send you the link.
Excellent. Put Sammy on it too.
Not yet, because I don't have any of this,
Oh, okay.
which is why I'll send it to you.
Yeah, good. I'll try to fill that in. This is Jonathan Mallon there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
This is Alan.
I'm thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'll be at Piedmont Gardens on Monday.
Okay.
Very well.
Wow.
Just try to say hi.
Mark,
So you used to live down there?
I used to, yeah. I know her,
Yeah.
her father. Shabbat Shalom. Alan. 80 on everything.
I didn't know you were coming.
Sorry.
That's sweetie.
Hi.
Nice to meet you too. So glad to meet you guys. Lovely to meet you. Welcome.
Thank you.
You decided that this shorter service was better.
We did both.
Oh my goodness. Very brave. You can.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just wanted to know what she was talking about. You knew it wanted
Shabbat Shalom. Just in case.
Thank you. There's some.
Oh, thank you. Well, maybe, why don't you see if Rana can pick you up some?
Oh, interesting.
Or you just may have to go back to Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
Or send me.
Yeah, exactly.
Send me before it gets hot.
They're going to end up coming from Boston, I'm sure. Israel Bookshop.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I know, I've gotten lots of things there.
They have a lot of stuff that no one else seems to have.
It's so funny that you're so attached to them now. Nobody sees them, nobody knows what they are.
What do you
No,
Oh.
these particular stickers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I like them to have some for Jewish something. Yeah, that's all.
Did you hear Delilah Levinson contact you? She's unhappy, she saw her card and you're not getting them. She blamed me, actually. Well, there's even one on her card that doesn't count. Right, because there's no summer, and she, right, that doesn't count. She's September. So I just put that on. You did miss her for quorum, so I put it on.
Cool. Are you sure?
Well, then either that or she just, yes, because I put the ones on for quorum, yeah.
All right, so Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. We're going to start on page 1. We're going to do a pretty long Yedid Nefesh here because we don't really have an actual minyan yet. So, and if you happen to be watching and you think I might need you for a minyan, I'll let you know in about 10 minutes. And again, if you're watching, we've had 25 to 30 people most Fridays recently, but tonight, the weather, Oakland spring break, and no bar bat mitzvah. Makes me slightly concerned, but we'll probably be okay. So page 1. Yedid nefesh harachaman mishach avdecha el ritzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo haya yishtachaveh el muhadarecha Yerahu yedidutecha mino vetzuv vechol ta'am adonai ziv ha'olam nafshi cholat avatecha Noam zivecha azin chazek v'titrape v'haitala simchat olam v'tiyemuna rachamecha v'chuzana b'na'uvecha Ki zekama nichzov nichzavti lirom tiveret uzecha elecham dalivi kusana ve'alti talam igalena Ufros chabibi alai etzukat shlomecha ta'ir eretz lecha nagila v'nismecha bach ba'er ehov kivamoed v'chonenu ki me'olam yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 la. We're on page 5. We have a minion here with us tonight. So, yeah, good. Plus even. All right, page 5. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, baruch hu shemo, basru min yom leyom yeshuato, zafru b'goyim, keren levodo b'kol ha'amim, ni'otav, ki gadol Adonai, ulam emor, no'ahu, al kol Elohim, ay, ki kol Elohim, ha'amim elilim, ba'adonai, shomayim asa, od ve'adam, ve'nefana, od ve'tiferet, be'mikdasho, מים ותגל אורץ עירם בים וללאום ינוס אדוני לכל אשר בו איי אז יראנו כל ארצי ים לפני אדוני כי אימה לכל הארץ Let's turn to page 12. All right, page 13. He's more than godly, all of the night made king. Alul Adonai, Gavur Ma'oz, ay, Alul Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yishtach, Alul Adonai, Me'av Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Amayim, Emad Kavod Yiri, Adonai, Amayim Rabbi, Kol Adonai, Rakoa, ay, Kol Adonai, Be'adar, Kol Adonai, Shomer Harazim, Shomer Adonai, E'azeh Adon, Vayer Kirem Ken Modeger, Be'adon, Be'zirion, Kemo Medreim, ay, Kol Adonai, Kotel Lavo'esh, Kol Adonai, Yachid Mibar, Yachid Adonai, Ni'im Bakaresh, Kol Adonai, Yechol El Hayadot, Vayechesod, Ye'aron, U'Hechalot, U'Merkavot, ay, Adonai, Lama Havuyat Shabbat Yishem Adonai, Melech Olam, Adonai Oz, Le'amo Yiten Adonai, Yevach Ketamo B'Shalom. Hey, yai, 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 All right, page 15, the Charari, first two and last two stanzas. I think I'll be switching the tune in the middle as well. Bechado li likrat kala, yalala, yalala, yalala. השבת נתולך, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מכלב נסוכה, סוף הספר מחשבה תחילה. לך אלוהים נקרא קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך אלוהים נקרא קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוסי, את אדוני תריצי, אל יריש את ארצי, ונשמחה ונגילה לה 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 אלוהי, נקרא קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. לך אלוהי נקרא קלה, פני פני שבת נקבלה. Welcome the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom atem ala, gam l'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emnei ha'tzedula, boi kala, boi kala. Say to any mourners in our midst, Hamakom Menachem Echem, B'tok Sharabbanei Tzion, Yerushalayim. May God comfort you with all the mourners of Zion in Jerusalem. We may be seated. We're on page 19. Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat, Tov Le'odo Le'Adonai, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, U'lezamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Le'hagiz Ba'voker Ha'secha. We continue on our own, pages 19 and 20. Tzadikatar yifrach ka'erez balon yizker shetulim bevei karos hatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu oyenun l'seva d'shenim v'rananim yiru le'hagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri velo avatavo. Adonai malach yod lavesh Adonai ozid lazar afti kon tevel ba'altimot nachon kizacha me'az ba'amata nasu zerot Adonai nasu zerot kolam yisu nerot ogyam. 21 at the bottom. Mikol Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishpereyam Adir Babarom Adonai Eirotecha Ne'enu Me'od Call to prayer, page 22. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Adonai Mevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. May be seated. Baruch et Adonai Le'Mechalam, Asher B'Varu, V'Arim Rabim. Yom v'layla, kol mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Every yom uvein layla, mavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzeva'ot shemo. El chai v'kayam, v'amid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'arim Rabim. 24. Page 25. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levecha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzvavecha, hayom ha'levavecha, v'shi'antam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha v'techa, u'v'lechtecha derech, u'v'shofrecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam le'ol ha'yadecha, U'tafot beinecha, u'taftam, amezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha. We'll continue on our own. Tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim lehechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, emet We're on page 30. טוב רצון קנו להם, משה בני ישראל חנו שבעה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם 32. יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נגע בקודש תורה תהי לו אוסף פלא תורה תהי לו אוסף פלא עניים לו לעולם ועד מלכותך רבו בניך חוקי הים לפני משה זה אלי אנו ואמרו זה אלי אנו ואמרו עניים לעולם ועד יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 ונאמר יעקב גואל חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל 33 השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחנינו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחנינו מלכנו לחיים לשמור צאתנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. All right, we're going to start on this side of the room. Ashkeinu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Sukkot Shlomecha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Acharei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Al Kol Amo Yisrael, V'al Yerushalayim. Please rise for V'shamru, Covenant of Shabbat, page 34. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Ki sheshem yamim asa Adonai יתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
עמד יברח ירותיה והמלך מלכותיה.
וחייכם ויומכם וילכו בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב.
Bimeru.
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח וידבר וירומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. לעמים כה ברכתה ושירתה.
תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא.
Bimeru.
Amen.
Silent Amida pages 37 through 48. shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yishvitehem v'hibru Amen. All right, Paul, come on up for a repetition of the Amidah.
We do the Kaddish
Page
also?
4, yeah. No bar mitzvah kidder today.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon, Konei Shamayim v'Aaretz Magen Avod v'Davaro Amelchaye Meitim B'Mamaro Ha'el HaKadosh She'ein Kamohu Ha'meniach Le'amo Ve'yom Shabbat Kodsho Kivam Ratzah Le'aniach Lahem Kivam Ratzah Le'aniach Lahem Lefanav Navod Be'ira V'Fachad V'noda Lishmo B'chol Yom Tamid Me'en HaBrachot Adon Shalom Mekadesh HaShabbat U'borech Shabbat U'meiniach B'Kedusha Le'amedu Shnei Onei Zecher L'maaseh Bereishit Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Ritzei b'mnuchateinu Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha V'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha Sabeinu mituvecha V'samcheinu b'shuatecha V'taher libeinu le'ovdecha be'emet v'taher libeinu le'ovdecha be'emet v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava u'b'ratzon Shabbat Kodshecha Ve'yanuchuva Yisrael Mekadshe Shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Yikadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah Yamad divrei chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechonu v'yamechonu v'chayedechu Beit Yisrael Bagala b'zman kariv v'meru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach Le'olam 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 Yivarach Baruch
Shalach, Vipor, Vitroma, Vitnase, Vitadar, Vitala, Vitala, Shemir, Kudsha, Barichu, Leila, Min, Kol, Birchata, Lishirata, Tushbachata, Venechemata, Damiran, Be'alma, Vimaru, Amen. Tikabel, Tzalot, Hon, Varon, Dechol, Yisrael, Kodam, Abohundi, Vishmaya, Vimaru, Amen. Yeshlam, Rabbamin, Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'maru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma u'yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimaru.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. So, historical letter, I'm in the midst of a number of them about the institution of bat mitzvah and women being called to the Torah for an aliyah at Temple Beth Abraham. And I'll give you more information that doesn't come directly from the letters in a few weeks, as we're kind of going slowly through this. But one of the things that we don't have a record, there's all this argument and process about whether women should have bat mitzvahs here and be called to Torah for an aliyah. That is on Saturday mornings. They had been called to the Torah, we've discovered, for a long time on Friday night, in what essentially was a private service here. And there's no record in the synagogue about that, and I'm sure it was just as controversial, right? There's no way that they would have allowed that without some people arguing about it, right? But still, so the only arguments we have recorded and that came to pass down to me through historical memory have been about the Saturday morning one. This is a letter from the executive director, Alan Levinson, who, as I read last week, was very involved in this process and trying to push it forward, to Sidney Schaefer.
What's the date?
This is from September 25th, 1972. So we're in the midst, I don't know if we're in Rabbi Leonard Kahan or Rabbi Eugene Warnick at this time. I think we're still in Kahan. I think he served for 3 years, but it's possible he only served for 2 years, and he started in July of 1970, so it's a little bit unclear, that part. But anyway, so unless there was a year without a rabbi, that's also possible. Not quite sure, but here's what he writes. Dear Sid, who I believe was president in 1972, certainly was super involved. After speaking with a number of people, most notably Rabbi Ted Alexander, the director of Northern California region of the United Synagogue, the few available facts and figures and directions concerning aliyot for women were imparted to me. So Rabbi Ted Alexander also had a congregation in San Francisco, B'nai Emunah. He was a Holocaust survivor. Anyway, although neither the conservative movement nor the Orthodox or their rabbinical counterparts, the Rabbinical Assembly or the Rabbinical Council of America, have any policy decisions on the subject of aliyot for women, it is believed that those congregations which do exercise the prerogative are in the minority. So it means that some conservative synagogues are doing it already, but we don't know how many. There's no systematic survey of it, but it appears to be a minority. Many congregations are, however, facing the problem this year, and most Jewish leaders feel that positive steps will be taken within the next few weeks. Rabbi Teitelbaum, I was made to understand, is in the process of convening the rabbis of Northern California shortly with the express purpose of issuing an injunction urging congregations to adopt an affirmative stance. Rabbi Teitelbaum is the rabbi of the conservative synagogue Beth Jacob in Redwood City at this time, and also the president or the head of the Northern California Board of Rabbis, which was a volunteer position at that time. Alexander seems to believe that the vote will be overwhelmingly in favor, but it's in favor of the rabbis saying you should do it, not that the congregations will do it. Just as a note, Gerson Cohen of the JTS in New York, that's the Rabbinical Seminary in New York, has predicted a conservative woman rabbi in 2 years. He was wrong. Okay, it took almost another decade. The conservative movement didn't ordain a rabbi until the 80s. The Reform movement ordained one, however, within 2 years. Rabbi Sally Priesand was ordained by the Reform movement in 1973. Amy Eidelberg, I think 1982, but I'm not positive. Anyway, the Hebrew Union College already has graduated one, or maybe it was 72, because that must have been the year, and has 2 students, and the Reconstructionist Seminary has 1 in Philadelphia. Among the synagogues now allowing women to have aliyot are, any guesses in the Bay Area? No,
Israel.
conservative.
Oh.
Any guesses?
This one?
No, because we're arguing it this time. So one is Teitelbaum's congregation, Beth Jacob in Redwood City, and the other is Beth Shalom in San Francisco.
Wow.
And Rabbi Saul White was pretty progressive on this matter, and he was Yeah, he was a sort of the leading rabbi in the Bear.
Was
And-
that one of the reasons Showlice left?
No.
Because I think they had them at Valley Vegetable.
Well, when he got there, they did. I don't know.
Yeah.
He may have instituted it. He
Yeah.
tried to institute it here and he lost and he was really mad about it.
Yeah.
But that's not why he left.
Oh.
There's other people who thought that's a whole nother separate story. But one of them, people walked out on a sermon that he gave where he was talking about how members of the congregation were slumlords and they should get out of this business. But really, he left because he got a really good offer there. The demographics were declining here. People were leaving Oakland and moving through the tunnel. And that's really why he
He
probably
had a nice
left.
house in Encino.
But yeah, so anyway, and it was a much bigger thing down there. Anyway, and even in the Park Avenue Synagogue in Manhattan, there do not seem to be any recent figures connected with Aliyot or Pasichtas, so I could not arrange for anything else. Sincerely, Alan Levinson, Executive Director. So at this point, all we know is that the region is going to encourage it for congregation. What's going to happen with us? We do not know yet. And we
Well,
still don't
eventually
exactly
we
know
did
what
it.
happened. Eventually we did it, but we still have a couple stories of how it went. So stay tuned for the next installment next week. And that's our historical moment for the evening. All right. Please rise for the Kiddush on page 55. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei v'yarafem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzon b'anu, v'shabat kosho b'ahavot ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tefilah l'mikrayei kodesh, zeker l'tziyah Mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta ve'otanu ki dashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabat koshecha v'yahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Chaim Shalai. Blessing of the children. I see only one parent group with their child. You can put your hands on their head. Anyone else you choose to bless, if you're comfortable putting your hands on their heads. Yisimech Elohim Kasar Rivka Rachel Leah. Yisimcha Elohim K'Ephraim Levi Menashe. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May God lift the divine face toward you and grant peace. Amen. Amen. And remain standing for the Aleinu, page 57. Aleinu v'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, l'teikenu l'yotzei b'reishit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'ratzon, ve'lo samanu k'mishmakol ha'adama, shelo samchelkenu kanem, ve'kor aleinu kehol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, U'mishachamim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, She'unu b'shamayim v'yosei haaretz, U'moshe b'tovo b'shamayim imah, U'shchinatu zo, B'kopei meromim, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Malkeinu efes zulato, kakatu betorato, edratayo be'ashivota, eleva becha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, hashamayim imam, ve'aretz mitah, Eino. Torah Adonai Noch Le'olam Va'ed. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz. V'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad. U'shemo Be seated as we lovingly recall the memory of our departed relatives and friends as yahrzeits we observe during the coming week. We're thinking especially tonight of Mildred Ehrenbart Adler, Maria Belina, Pauline Belzer, Natalie Berg, Robert Bostick, Morris Cohen, David Gallant, former Gabbai and leader of our congregation, Esther Simi Gold, Miriam Goldberg, Peter Hecht, Albert Hyman, Sue Cantor, Ethel Rose Kapler, Frida Katz, Carol Kirsch, Morris Lerman, Horace Joseph Marks, Esther Moravsky, Saul Pierce, Bernice Ring, Carol Robinson, Carol Rosenberg, Jenny Rosenzweig, Marlene May Safer, Alan Silver, Abraham Silverman, David Weinstein, Faye Zaslav, Herman Zatkin. We are in the Shloshim, the third day mourning period for Alex Kaufman and David Disco. I want to mention two very significant Jewish figures who died this week. One for sure you know about, that's Joe Lieberman, who was almost the first Jewish vice president, just by a few hanging chads of the United States. And the other one, Nobel Prize winner in economics, Daniel Kahneman, who came out of psychology and wrote about decision makings, and basically his thesis was that humans are not rational decision makers, and so economic theory shouldn't rest on that notion. I first became acquainted with him with Michael Lewis's book, The Undoing Project. But Daniel Kahneman, really Israeli, really important, significant Jewish figure. The memories of all of them with us. We ask all those who are in mourning or observing Yortzeit, as well as anyone else who would choose to do so, to rise from the Mourner's Kaddish, page 61. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. No'amad yivrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon chayei Beit Yisrael. Bagala v'isman kari v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudashah barichu le'elam in kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata v'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya V'chaim alein ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromam Huya se shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zikronam libracha, may their memories be a blessing to you always. Tomorrow, services are at 9:30. Men's Club are running the service, sponsoring the Kiddush. So I'll just announce a couple of pages basically and read the Kaddish list. Then they're on Saturday, and a week from tomorrow is WTPA Shabbat. So the women of TPA will be doing all the same things. I will be in Cleveland, Ohio next weekend. Marshall Langfeld will be leading services next Friday night, and so that's good enough. There's a wine tasting coming up with Covenant, Haiju, and Kleinlehrer wines, all of whom work for Covenant, but they also make wines under the two different winemakers' private labels too. And that'll be April 11th, RSVP to Brian Schwartz. Should be good. We have a bunch of guests tonight. So first we have our college students who are only sort of guests. One's a guest. So from Cal Poly, right? Max is here, and Tamar and Alex are here from Grinnell. Alex is from Pennsylvania, but family lives in Florida now. And great to have you here. We also, we just met tonight, we have Jonathan and Madeline. So welcome to Jonathan and Madeline. And we have the Battleson parents visiting us from Ojai. Tell us your first names again.
Wade. And I'm Petra.
Wade and Petra. So great to have you here. And welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. So no significant musical artist died this week, but that won't stop me from doing a song for a special song. So for a few reasons. So I'm gonna do a song by one of my favorite artists who's pretty obscure. His name is Langhorne Slim, but his real name is Sean Skolnick. And he wrote this song called Morning Prayer. And he has some substance abuse problems, and he talks about offering himself to God. And with this week's Parsha, and he also talks about wholeness in this song. So with this week's Torah portion, it's all about our offerings to God. It's literally sacrifices. And the main offering that we're going to cover tomorrow in the Torah portion is the wholeness offering, the Zevach Shlamim. So I thought it fit in well. Wholeness, like it's shalom, and it means complete, like feeling right. Right? And so some translations will actually call it a peace offering. It's not really very accurate, although Rashi believes that, but none of the other commentators do. It's really about, being whole and expressing thanksgiving for that. And there's a lot of pain and sadness in our world right now, particularly among the Jewish people. And so this kind of helps me refocus on gratitude. And because it's also that, and because it's called morning prayer, that's also the first prayer you say when you wake up in the morning, not the Langhorne Slim version, but Modeh Ani. So I've mashed a version of Modeh Ani into the song as well. Modeh Ani lefanecha melachai v'kayam shechazarti b'nishmati b'chemla, which basically means I am thankful, God, before you, who you're sovereign, basically, of living and eternal. Melachai v'kayam shechazarta, who has restored my soul each morning within me. I'm here, I'm awake, with your abundant goodness and compassion. Rabba Amunatecha. So you'll hear that in here as well. And you might know this is a tune that some of you will at least know. So it's called Morning Prayer. It's by Langhorne Slim, but his real name is Sean Skolnick, which tells you something about him as well. God, give me the strength today. I offer myself to thee. From this bondage, set me free. Help me see the nature of my wrongs. In your grace I will be strong. This whole world is full of fear and greed. Love it is the door and faith's the key. From this bondage set me free. I offer myself to thee. Modeh Ani lefanecha melachai v'kayam shechazarta b'nishmati b'chemla Rabba emunatecha Rabba emunatecha. God, with you I can be whole if I surrender my control. Though I still want to run the show, I'm trying to let go. This whole world is full of fear and greed. Love it is the door and faith's the key. Nothing is deserved nor guaranteed. So I offer myself to thee. For my friends who suffer, for my mother, father, sister, and brother, for a world down on its knees, I pray. for thee, for the restless and the wild, for the broken, tamed, defiled, for all of us who crave more than we need. I pray for thee, Mode'ani. And I offer myself to thee. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.